Mr. H. Good, it's you, Agent XJ7. I keep this line open. It is dedicated purely to our relay of information. Settle back. This will be of utmost interest for your life's mission. Her name, Thalia Monroe, age 17. An ordinary schoolgirl with a small group of acquaintances and supposed friends. Location, Provo, Utah. Date, 1995. During the summer of 95, Thalia was being ceremoniously lavished with attention from her small circle. She found it flattering, believing her group was maturing and making good for past hurts. Thalia was seen as the least fortunate of her friends. She was underdeveloped, plain, lacked style, held the interest of no boys, and had no social life. Thalia was mercilessly derided and teased by her so-called friends, but she was always welcomed because they needed an unfortunate to elevate their self-esteem. Jennifer, one of the most stunning of their lot, and one of the most ruthless as well, had come into some favor somewhere in early summer. She had purchased new clothes, lots of them, and jewelry, and a sports car worth 6 figures. Jennifer used her car to drive her and Thalia quite often, followed by the others in another girl's family minivan. One afternoon, they all made the decision to run up to a local mountain and go exploring. All 8 laughed and frolicked, chasing each other, playing an impromptu game of tag. They rushed around trees and rocks. Finally, they all rushed into a broad cave entrance. All of them swirled about on the edge of sunlight, goading one another to go deeper and face their fears. Screams of terror appealed from the random girls, trying to shock the others. Their dim forms flitted about. Thalia was tagged and ran after the others, and suddenly one was standing still, unable to move, it seemed. And Thalia reached out to touch that person, and she was suddenly frozen in place, barely able to move at all. As if slowed down to 1/1000th speed. Her limbs fought against invisible concrete. Before Thalia's eyes, 8 individual figures gathered curiously before her. 8 had come up the mountain, including Thalia. 8 were now before her. Someone had joined them. The 8th was Julia Villanova, a 10th grader from their school, and a good friend of Jennifer's. Sorry, Thalia, Jennifer said with mild sympathy in her eyes, while keeping a small distance away. It had to be this way. Thalia had a bad feeling. She was panicking inside, but unable to scream or cry or run. One of us, Jennifer explained, or someone, has to suffer the curse in order for the rest of us to go free, and in order for me to fulfill my wishes. Thank you for your sacrifice, cheerfully chirped Julia. Through a chance encounter, Jennifer explained further. I was led up here to a djinn living in this cave. It's an unclean spirit that could do whatever I wanted, if I were to suffer a curse for finding and disturbing the ancient creature. The problem was that I craved endless wealth. I just want to have fun. The curse given to me was a massive slowing of time. What good is wealth when you can barely move? That stupid djinn was a real bastard, but he was a fool. And when he departed to live elsewhere, he didn't realize I had some good friends waiting for me whom had accompanied me. Julia touched me, and the curse was on her, but luckily not the benefits. I was to keep those profits while Julia remained locked in time, but I couldn't endure losing Julia. She's my bestie, so we all figured you would be the best suited to remain here alone. Don't worry, Shelley, a blonde senior said. You're best suited up here. Time will slow down, and you won't age until freed, whenever that might be. Oh, don't worry about getting eaten by a bear or anything, Jennifer yelled as they all ran out of the cave. We'll make sure you are safe forever. Someone lit a stick of dynamite squeezed into rocks at the front of the cave. It exploded, and a cascade of large boulders descended to fill up the opening and seal away Thalia. But who knows for how long? All Thalia could do was stare into the distance and loathe the day she was ever so foolish as to think she had friends. The future was coming on, slowly, and for every year she aged, the world would go forward 1,000. Thalia imagined a future as being much better than the past. She imagined the world of 3000 A.D. being a wonderful world where she could find enlightened friends and a love so dear she could live out a life of bliss, becoming a desired oddity surrounded by an amazed population. And best of all, a future free from her awful friends, who would be little more than dust and bones, and their graves all lined up for her to piss on.
Like and subscribe before I die! And ring the little bell or you will surely go to hell.
Oh, we're telling spooky stories. This is not a spooky story. Oh, there's no way on the couch I can
It depends how you look at it. It is kind of spooky.
I guess so.
Wait, that's it? That's the end of the story?
That is a